I'm going to give a very short review of types of cellular reproduction. What we've talked about so far has only been asexual reproduction, and if we're a single-celled organism, this would be if we divide into two. This also happens within multicellular organisms, so anytime we scrape our knee and need to replace those cells, or if we start off as a baby, we're very small, we grow to adult size, we have grown many, many more cells. So our cells are undergoing asexual reproduction all the time, and they're doing that via mitosis. So we've talked about mitosis quite a bit already, and we know that we start off with one parent cell, we go through all those stages of mitosis, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis, end up with two identical daughter cells. So, if this, let's say this parent cell starts off with 8 chromosomes, both of the daughter cells, again, they're identical to each other, they're also identical to the parent, they're also going to have 8 chromosomes. Sexual reproduction also happens, and this is when we have the fusion of two cells. We always call those cells, these are special cells, these cells are going to be gametes or sex cells. And when they fuse into one cell, and all their genetic information gets combined, and we call that single cell a zygote. In the case of sexual reproduction, parents and offspring are not identical, and that's true at the cellular level. It's also true at a whole organismal level. So think about your parents. You're obviously not identical to your parents. That happens because offspring only get half of the chromosomes from one parent and half of their chromosomes from the other. So let's say that we have a sperm, and we're human, so we have 46 chromosomes in each of our cells, or 23 homologous pairs. So we'll say this sperm has 46 chromosomes, and then we have an egg, and let's say that egg here also has 46 chromosomes. During sexual reproduction, those two cells, again, those are called gametes or sex cells, they fuse to form a zygote. So our zygote here will be the combination of the chromosomes in the sperm and the egg, so we would end up with 92 chromosomes. Okay, well that's a problem. We can't have cells with 92 chromosomes. So this is not how sexual reproduction actually occurs. Instead, what we want to end up with is a zygote with 46 chromosomes. We want this zygote to develop into a normal human being. Normal human beings have 46 chromosomes in each of their cells. So let's back up from here. If we want to end up with 46 chromosomes and we fuse together an egg and a sperm, that means our sperm needs to have half as many chromosomes. It's going to have 23 chromosomes. And our egg also has to have half as many chromosomes, or 23 chromosomes. So when we get fusion or fertilization, the zygote ends up with the correct number of chromosomes. In order to end up with eggs and sperm with half as many chromosomes as our normal cells, they are formed through a different process called meiosis. If we look at every other cell in our body except for our eggs, we'll find 46 chromosomes in there. We call those cells diploid, and that's because they have 2 full sets of homologous chromosomes. One set from mom, one set from dad. So mom's set of chromosomes, we have every single gene. Dad's set of chromosomes, we have every single gene. We just have 2 versions of every gene. So every single cell in our bodies except for our eggs are diploid. Our gametes, which are our eggs, only have 1 set of each type of chromosome. We call those cells haploid. In humans, the only haploid cells that exist our egg and sperm. So I just want to go over meiosis really briefly. I'm going to start with a cell, and this cell will put 2 pairs of homologous chromosomes. So I'm going to use red for the chromosomes that I got from mom, blue for the chromosomes I got from dad. So I have 2 kinds here. Let's say I have a straight chromosome from mom and a squiggly chromosome from mom. And this cell is diploid. So I'm going to have a straight chromosome from dad and a squiggly chromosome from from dad, and those are homologous pairs of chromosomes. So I have 4 total chromosomes, 2 pairs of homologous chromosomes. So 4 chromosomes, 2 pairs of homologous chromosomes. And if we remember, if this was a real person, we would actually have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. Because we do have these pairs, this cell is diploid. Meiosis happens in 2 stages. So the first stage we'll just call meiosis 1. In meiosis 1, that cell is basically going to split into 2. Each of those cells is going to get one type, or one of each type of chromosome. So it's going to get a straight chromosome and a squiggly chromosome. And it's totally random how this occurs. So we'll say in this case, maybe this cell gets the straight chromosome from mom and the squiggly chromosome from dad. So let's draw that in. We got straight chromosome from mom and squiggly chromosome from dad. That means the other cell got a straight chromosome from dad and a squiggly chromosome from mom. So we still have one of each type of chromosome, but we no longer have homologous pairs. So now in each cell we have 2 chromosomes, and I'm just going to abbreviate that. No pairs. So these cells are now haploid. We have half as many chromosomes as we started off with. We're not done though. So next thing that's going to happen is a process that's identical to mitosis, and that's meiosis 2. So each of these cells is going to divide into 2, and we're going to split up those sister chromatids now. So when we split up the sister chromatids, over here we end up with a straight chromosome from mom, straight chromosome from mom. Over here we get squiggly chromosome from mom, squiggly chromosome from mom. And then over here we're splitting up dad's squiggly chromosome, so we get a squiggly chromosome, straight chromosome, straight chromosome. So we've ended up with 4 cells, 2 chromosomes in each, and those cells are haploid. And these 4 cells that we've ended up with, these guys would be our eggs. And one thing that I forgot to say, this second step here is just called meiosis 2.